everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this week I'm doing something a little different. These are a bunch of breakfast ideas. A lot of these will freeze well, kind of make ahead ideas so that they are ready to go, ready for your family. And really I spent about 2 hours in the kitchen making all of this stuff, and now we are good to go on breakfast for quite some time. It's such a time saver for me. You know, a lot of people are really into freezer meals, and those are great. I have used them before, but I am about some freezer breakfast. I don't want to have to worry about getting up in the morning and cooking or any of that. That is not my thing. So I like to have things cooked and ready to go. The only time I want to get in the kitchen and really have to work is on the weekends. I don't mind it so much on Saturday and Sunday. We're not doing homeschool. I don't have other things going on. So usually I kind of enjoy getting in there and starting the day off with a nice breakfast for my family. But Monday through Friday, no, I don't want to do that. Freezer breakfast is the way to go. So first off, I'm going to make these gluten-free waffles. So if you watched my grocery haul, you know that we did do a food sensitivity test for my middle son Camden because he has migraines. And there were a couple of things on the list we're trying to avoid to see if it reduces the number of migraines he gets. One of the things on there was gluten, and just a sensitivity. It is not an allergy. He just might be sensitive to it. So we're going to try cutting out gluten as much as we can. So I got this gluten-free waffle mix. I picked it up at our natural grocery store. I ran in there when he got his test results just to pick up a few things for him to try, some alternatives to what he normally eats. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and make these waffles because he absolutely loves waffles. So I just followed the instructions on the package for these. I didn't make any real alterations to it. I did put in just a little bit of maple syrup, but that was it. I didn't do anything extra. I just followed the package. I am using this tiny little dash waffle maker, so this is to take a long time, but somebody gave this to my husband for Christmas and I thought it was the cutest thing. It is a Texas shaped waffle maker. If you're not from Texas, you don't know this, but down here in Texas, like, we love everything Texas shaped. And if you go stay at any of the hotels in Texas, most of them will serve you Texas shaped waffles for breakfast in the morning. It's fun, you know, and this is a cute little mini version of those Texas shaped waffle makers you see at hotels and stuff. So I decided that I would just do this. My kids were super excited. They thought it was so fun that these were shaped waffles. And I thought to myself, you know, these are not that expensive. I've seen them at the store. Maybe for some of the holidays, I will pick up some other shaped themed waffles. You know, maybe for Christmas, a Santa or a Christmas tree or a reindeer or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. I just thought it was pretty cool and they were super excited. So I did mix this up. The consistency of this waffle mix is different than regular waffle mix. I guess that is what happens with gluten-free. This really reminded me of like cornbread batter. And if you let it sit for a few minutes, which it did as I was making all the waffles, it got like super thick and fluffy like cornbread batter would. So this was definitely a little different, but I tasted of the first waffle that I made and it was really, really good. The only only thing I would do differently in the future was all I had was vegetable oil and olive oil. So I just used my vegetable oil when making this, but I could taste it a little bit. So next time I think I will purchase some coconut oil to use. And I think that'll be really, really awesome. So I've not ever used my Dash waffle maker before. This was my first time. So I did, and I hadn't used gluten-free waffle mix either. So I did spray a tiny bit of spray each time I used it because I didn't know how sticky this stuff was going to be or how well the waffle maker would work. Usually I make the big round Belgian waffles, and that one I can, you know, spray it and then use it 2 or 3 times before I have to do it again. As you will see, this is a very tiny waffle maker, and with anything like this, waffles, pancakes, any of that stuff, the first one's always a dud. I obviously overfilled it quite a bit and it was oozing out the sides. These puff up a lot. You put the batter in and it just doubles in thickness once you put it in, which is cool. I mean, it makes for a really good waffle. But I was not prepared for that and I put way too much batter in there. So it did kind of puff up and ooze out everywhere, but that's okay. It was still great. This is the one that I tasted. And like I said, it was amazing. I didn't put any syrup on mine, and it still had a really good flavor. It wasn't too sweet, but there was a little bit of sweetness going on there. It was really, really good. So I can definitely see us doing more gluten-free stuff in the future. This was not bad. It's not something we've ever really done. We haven't had a need to, so we just didn't. But this was good. I liked it. And most importantly, Camden liked it. He really, really enjoyed it. He ate 2 waffles yesterday. So that was a win in my book. And as you can see, waffle number 2 turned out much better. I did figure out the proper ratio for making these waffles so that I don't overflow all of them, and they work out very nicely and are cute little Texas shaped waffles. While these were cooking, I did decide that I was going to go ahead and jump on getting some bacon cooked. I like to do this once a week, and I just decided that, this is on a Friday. I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and get this done. I don't have to worry about it over the weekend. So I pulled out my package of bacon. This is the ATP brand peppered bacon. I buy this all the time. And this is the first time I'm going to have to tell you this was horrible quality bacon. Usually it's great, but this was not. The first couple of pieces are okay in shape and size, and then they're hiding the fact that the middle of this package is only like almost half strips of bacon. I was so disappointed. I cooked it anyway. It tasted fine. As you can see right there, they start getting super short. They're missing the other end of the bacon. We ate them. They were fine, but I was really disappointed for what you have to pay for bacon now. I kind of expect to get entire strips of bacon when I buy them, But that's okay. This is one of the things I do every week. Making bacon one day a week, it keeps in the fridge for a good solid 7 days. So I can make 1 to 2 packs of bacon, and we can eat on it for different things throughout the week. If we want to have breakfast, or if we want to make BLTs or anything like that, this is one of those easy things I do just to make my week easier. So if you guys, want to do something just to kind of make things a little easier for you, I highly recommend cooking 1 to 2 packs of bacon on the weekend and using them throughout the week. It's so simple to just scramble up or fry up some eggs to serve with it, or make a sandwich or a burrito or something. And of course you can get hash browns that you just nuke in the microwave now. The bacon's already ready to go. It makes for a really fast breakfast. And of course, if you do some make-ahead waffles like I am, you've got bacon and waffles, and it takes mere minutes to cook eggs. So breakfast can be so much easier. Now, I'm not going to be cooking any eggs in this video. I just didn't feel a need to cook any eggs. I am going to be freezing all these waffles, though, and I'm actually going to make another batch of waffles right now. The gluten-free are more for Camden, because the rest of us don't have an issue with it. We can eat it. Now I'm going to get started on some protein waffles. I had just a little bit of this Kodiak protein pancake and waffle mix, and this stuff is really good. It's the cinnamon oat, I think is what it was, but it was really, really good. So I'm going to go ahead and just follow the package instructions for making waffles, and then I'm going to kind of just doctor it up just a little bit, not too much. This was also a weird consistency batter. This was very doughy, much more doughy than I would have expected, but the waffles turned out beautiful, and they had a nice crispness to the outside that I really, really like. Anyway, as you can see, I followed the package instructions there, and you're going to see me set out some dark chocolate chips. And I think I actually added these in when the camera wasn't on. I was, at this point, doing multiple things at once. I'm cooking Camden's waffles. I've got the bacon in the oven that I do always flip halfway through, and I have to watch it carefully. I cook it at 400 degrees. Usually I will cook it close to 20 minutes, but I think this time was a lot shorter. I think it cooked pretty quickly this time, so it was more like 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm doing all these things at once, but at one point I did add about a 1/4 cup of those dark chocolate chips into the waffle mix, just to add something a little fun to them. And oh my gosh, they were so good. They smelled amazing. At the end of the day, they tasted like graham crackers with chocolate. Those protein waffles were so good. I will definitely be buying that again, unless I can find a way to make it at home myself. I don't know. All right, so here's why this is a make-ahead breakfast idea. I'm going to take all of these waffles I've been making, and I'm going to lay them out on a lined cookie sheet. It is really important that you line your cookie sheet with parchment paper or a Silpat or something like that. You don't want this to stick, and it will. We're going to take these, and I'm going to pop them in the deep freeze. If you have like a deep freezer, I think some people call them Sub-Zeros. If you have that, that is definitely the route you want to go, because it will freeze these a lot faster. If not, no worries, pop them in your regular freezer. Mine were frozen in about an hour. I mean, like frozen solid. If you're doing it in your regular freezer, it might take 2 to 3 hours, but that's fine. Once you have them completely frozen, just pop them in a zip top bag, and they're good to go for months and months in your freezer. And at the end of the day, what I paid for that gluten-free mix really was not bad at all. I think I paid $3 for that. Typically, if I buy waffles, I'm paying $2 to $3. So this really worked out well for me. It's not costing a whole lot more, and there's still freezer waffles ready to go. I'll pop them in the toaster oven whenever Cam wants some. I just poured a little bit of syrup on the top for him, and he was quite happy. Now I'm going to just go through the process of making these protein waffles. These tasted so good, and they smelled amazing. But like I said, that batter was just, it was dough. And I mean, that's okay. I made pancakes with this a couple of weeks ago, and the pancakes were great. They were also very doughy when I was working with the batter. I guess that's just the difference in whatever it is that they put in here to make these protein packed. Either way, smelled amazing. The house smelled so good. Oh my gosh, it smelled so good. I'm going to go ahead and cook up the whole batch of these. Jensen wanted some waffles, so I gave him 2 of these, and he loved them. He doesn't like butter or anything on his, well, sometimes he likes butter. He does not like syrup on his waffles or anything like that. So he just ate 2 of these just like that. Good to go. And he really, really liked them. In fact, after he finished his 2, he came back and asked for 2 more. I didn't have a ton of mix left, so I didn't actually end up with a lot of these kind of waffles. But like I said, I'm going to buy some again because this was so quick and so easy, and they are so stinking good. Oh my gosh. Now this mix is a lot more expensive. So if you guys know how to make any of these kind of protein waffle or protein pancake mixes at home, let me know. Or if you know where there's a recipe, something like that, let me know. This was for that box, which made a small batch of waffles, and let's see, I made pancakes before and it made 10 pancakes, and then today I made 2, 4, 6, 8 waffles. So that's not a ton of stuff, and I paid like $5 for that box. So like I said, if you guys know a way to make that at home, a recipe, something like that, send it my way. All right, so now we're going to move on to these lemon blueberry muffins. Oh my gosh, these are so, so good. Now, I'm going to make these and I'm going to glaze them because we're eating them over the next couple of days. However, muffins are one of those things you can make as long as you don't glaze them. You can freeze them and pull them out as needed. If you're going to freeze these, I would suggest putting about a tablespoon of lemon zest in this muffin batter, but because I was glazing them, I did not do that. I'm going to put my lemon in the glaze, but again, they're going to be great even if you don't want to put the lemon in. They'll just be blueberry muffins. So I started off with my my breakfast baking mix, stuff that makes biscuits and waffles and pancakes and all of that. And in case you didn't know, there is a recipe. I will list it down below, but you can use that stuff to make muffins. And usually on the boxes, they'll have all kinds of different recipes. Sometimes there's muffins, sometimes there's not. Sometimes there's cinnamon muffins, sometimes there's strawberry muffins. It really just depends. You can pretty much interchange a lot of that as long as you're using like a basic muffin mix, I'm going to make blueberry muffins. I think on the back of mine it was like strawberry muffins. So I took the measured amount of the baking mix and put it in my bowl, and then I'm going to add cinnamon. Cinnamon really elevates muffins, guys. I mean, it really, really does, and it goes well with so many different flavors. You can put cinnamon in banana nut muffins. You can put it in almost any fruit muffin. You can put it in chocolate chip muffins. It just really adds something special. So I went ahead and put a solid teaspoonful of cinnamon into that powder and mixed it in, and then I'm going to add in my wet ingredients according to the package directions, or if you've googled them, wherever you can find the directions for using baking mix down below in my description box. I went ahead and followed those. Now to it, I'm going to dress it up a little bit. I'm going to add in some vanilla. I probably did about a teaspoon because go big or go home. Vanilla is awesome, guys. When you're baking, it really adds something fantastic. So I probably did about a teaspoon of vanilla, maybe a little more. I get heavy-handed with those squirts. Then I added in about a tablespoon of maple syrup because I wanted that rich maple flavor in there. I'm really looking for these to not taste like generic muffins. I want them to kind of be elevated. And like I said, if you are not adding a glaze, now would be the time to add a tablespoon of lemon zest to this. But if you are adding the glaze, skip that step. We'll put it in the glaze. All right, so now I'm going to put some blueberries in. I'm going to put in about a cup. Now, I buy my blueberries when they are on sale at Market Street. They'll put them on for like buy one, get one free. And that is when I purchase my blueberries, and then I will just wash them and freeze them. And because blueberries come in really large containers, typically I will freeze them in big zip top bags, and then I just pull them out as needed for baking and for smoothies. So I put a heaping cup of blueberries in here, and really for me, I'm thinking I could have still put some more. I like my blueberries, but I mixed those in really well, and we're going to go ahead and get these guys into our muffin pan. I am actually just going to use my silicone liners because I'm not freezing these. Now, if you are going to freeze them, you'll want to use paper liners. I really recommend having a liner on them. You don't have to, but I think they freeze better with the liner on. They kind of hold together better. but I'm going to use my silicone liners. I did not grease these because I am using silicone liners and they are non-stick. If you are just using your metal pan, you're going to want to go ahead and grease that before you put the muffins in. And then I'm going to use my cookie scoop just to evenly, or actually I think I use my ice cream scoop to evenly divide the batter between these to the best of my ability. I am not really great at measuring, like it's just not my jam. It's not what I want to do with my time. So I just did the best I could. But I used my scoop and I just kind of scooped it out as evenly as I could into the muffin tins. I only got 11 because I made these quite large, which is what I was going for, and that's okay. There were a couple I felt like just didn't have their fair share of blueberry, so you will see me here in just a minute. Once I have gotten these evenly distributed, you will see me go ahead and add a few more frozen blueberries to the top, and that was perfect. They really would have needed them because I ate one of them last night and I could tell like on the inside it was definitely lacking in its blueberry goodness, so adding those few on the top made all the difference in the world. You could top all of them with blueberries if you really wanted to, but I just did it on those few and that was fine. At this point, if you wanted to, you could even go a step further. If you're not going to be glazing them, you could mix up some oats, some brown sugar, some butter, and some cinnamon, and maybe a little bit of lemon zest. Mix it all up really well till it's crumbly and top each of these, and it's like a streusel topping. That's up to you. I'm not doing that because I'm going to glaze them, but just an idea. I'll list that down below in the description box for you. Anyway, there they are after they baked. Look at those delicious blueberries. They were so big and awesome and fantastic, but we are not stopping here because I'm not freezing these. We are going to glaze them. So let's make some glaze. It is so simple. I am going to mix together powdered sugar. I think I used about a cup. As you can see, I obviously don't measure because I never measure. That's just who I am, but it was about a cup. And then we're going to add to it some lemon juice and some vanilla, and then a little bit of half and half. I like to add in my liquid flavorings first, which would be the lemon and the vanilla. That way I know all of my flavors are in there, and that's where it needs to be before I'm just using the half and half to make this the consistency that I want. So I go ahead and add in my half and half, and I'm a little bit light on it. I mix it until it's a very, very thick, pasty glaze, which is not what you would want for these muffins, but that's what I want for these because I want to taste it and make sure that the flavors are on point. And I'm glad I did that because I did end up needing to add a little bit more lemon juice. I wanted a very strong lemon flavor. Have you guys ever had the lemon pound cake at Starbucks? If you haven't, go get it now. It's amazing. But that is the flavor profile that I'm going for this glaze. And it's very lemony. It's sweet, but it's very lemony. And that is what I'm looking for. And that is what I got. So once I added that last bit of lemon juice, we have a really nice glaze. It's thick but thin all at the same time. It's going to be perfect for just dipping our muffins in, which is what I am going to do. I let them cool completely once they finish baking. You want them to be nice and cool before you do this. And you could just drizzle this over the top if you want to, but that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted lots of glaze on them. So I'm just going to take the muffins and I'm going to just dunk them in there and then just kind of swirl it around a little bit, as you can see, and just let them sit and chill in there. These do drip a little bit. They get a little messy, but they are so good, so delicious, so full of flavor. Those blueberries are just packed in there. I mean, as you can see, these are literally exploding with blueberries. And that lemon glaze is sweet, but that tart lemon shines through and pairs so beautifully with those blueberries. These were so good. And as I said again, you can freeze them as long as you don't glaze them. You could freeze them with a streusel topping on them and that would be fine. Just don't freeze the glaze. It gets nasty. You don't want to do that. But these are delicious. I don't have like a cake pan or anything, so I'm just storing them in two of those large plastic containers, and that's fine. They're not going to last long. My people are eating away at them. They're already half gone. By the time I went to bed the day that I made these, they were half gone. So they were that good. I hope you guys enjoy them. Let me know if you make them at home or if you have any recipes like this that you think I would like. These are just a few simple make ahead breakfast things that I either do regularly or do semi-regularly, things like that I like to kind of stay on top of so that it just makes mornings a little easier. I really just enjoy having breakfast ready to go and not having to worry about it, you know? But that's just me. Again, if you guys have any muffin or pancake or waffle ideas or recipes to try, let me know. I will give those a shot too. As for this video, that's about all I have for today. Just these few little things. I hope you guys enjoyed them. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Just a quick heads up, if you are a regular viewer on my channel, my grocery haul will be late this week because as you are watching this, I'm actually on my way back home. We went on a trip somewhere and I'm not going to be doing my grocery shopping on the regular time because I'm not here to do it. So my grocery haul will probably be on Saturday or Sunday. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for tuning in and watching. Thanks to all my new subscribers. You guys are awesome. And I will see you guys soon with another video.